Hi Libras, welcome back to the channel. My name is Antoinette. Today we're going to do a reading for you for the month of July or the coming weeks. And I have already pulled your cards. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you for returning to the channel. With that said, let's jump in. So we're starting with what do you feel? And it's funny because I've pulled this card so many times in collective readings and in personal readings, but I've actually never ever realized before that depicted in this card is literally somebody comparing apples and oranges. So I feel like in the month of July or in the coming weeks, it's about what works for you. Like for you it may be oranges, for other people it may be apples, and it feels like something is just a matter of preferences. Like it's a matter of what each person prefers, and it feels very important for you to figure out what you prefer compared to someone else or everybody else, or compared to another group of people that you're dealing with. So we're going to jump into the tarot and see what that means, or what Spirit's trying to tell you. So we start the reading out with the Two of Wands and the Star card. Feeling like following your bliss. This feels like making decisions, or making a decision to follow your bliss, follow your path, follow something you're being guided to do. This doesn't have to be a huge monumental thing, but maybe you feel led to meet up with friends, or you feel led to go on a cruise, or maybe you feel led to have some adventure in your life or some kind of celebration in your life. I'm using those examples because we have the Fool, which the Fool always talks about throwing all of our cares away and going off on a new adventure. So I don't know if you guys have adventures planned in the coming weeks, but it feels very much like I feel guided to do this at this particular time, and so I'm making a decision based off of how I feel. And I think it turns out great, because we have the Ace of Cups and we have the Sun. The Sun talks about being in positive energy, being very uplifted, feeling very vibrant, and almost having this infectiousness about you that can be easily seen and shared with others. So this feels like in your relationship sector, this feels like, and not necessarily intimate relationships, but you are being led maybe to be around friends, to be social, to be in celebratory energy with the people who you love and who love you. And I don't know what the significance is of figuring out what you feel here. We're going to get some advice on that. But it feels like in the midst of all this commotion, in the midst of this Ace of Cups, maybe you're even establishing new friendships, or this is a time that you're being led to invest in new friendships. But it feels like always Spirit is calling you to remember like the individuation in that process. Like, you know how the 5th house in astrology is right across from the 11th house in astrology? A perfect example of this is sometimes you have to let go of some 11th house themes to embrace 5th house themes, which is letting go of networks and groups to focus on more of an individualistic perspective or stance on yourself. So following your own creative bliss, following your own beliefs and hunches and things like that. So it feels like though you are like meeting all these people, you are being led, and this could even be being guided to like soul connections, because we have the Star and we have the 3 of Cups here, we have the Ace of Cups. This very much feels like some of you may be finding your tribe at this point. Some of you may be traveling, and that's where you find relationships, friendships, and new experiences that light you up and put you in this Sun energy. But it feels very important for you to still maintain your own individual identity and your own individual needs and beliefs when you are aligning with these people, when you meet new people, when you are participating in environments that are shared. Like what is what is the preference for Libra? Because Libra has the tendency to please. And I feel like that's something that Libras are often working on. Some more mature Libras that I've seen have kind of gotten used to like navigating that territory. But a lot of work that I always see Libras going through is wanting to please the people around them, and it needs to be a fine balance in like, yes, I can participate with these people, yes, I can love these people, yes, I can feel like these people are soul connections, but at the end of the day, guess what, it's apples and oranges. So they may prefer one thing, I may prefer the other thing, and it's perfectly okay for us to have that apples and oranges in our relationships, because I'm not them and they're not me. Spirit, what's the advice for Libras with what you feel? What's the advice for what do you feel? All right, we have 2 cards. We have ask your angels and ask for help from others. That's so interesting. It feels like as you are navigating new territory, also in the form of new relationships, your angels are encouraging you to lean on them to direct you to the people who serve you. Because in the same way, like there are preferences in different people, sometimes those preferences cause you to align, and sometimes those preferences cause you to like part ways, and nothing is wrong with that. Again, it's just apples and oranges. So if you're feeling like, you know, I don't really know if me and this person are gonna gel, I don't know if like this is gonna be like a, it feels like you're taking risks with people, but you don't necessarily know like if you're gonna really align with them. And your guides are like, just ask us, like we'll show you, we'll tell you, we'll drop a dream on you, we'll show you a sign if you need to see one. If you ask for one, we'll send you angel numbers. We'll guide you if you just ask us. So it feels like in this participatory, you're like in this participatory process with your guides where you're being led to people, places, things, and they want you to lean on them to navigate like, where is a place to stay? Where is a place to like stay for now? What person is gonna be putting you in this sun energy of upliftment? What person is going to be causing your cups to overflow? Like what relationships fill your cup and which ones don't? All right, so let's move into faith in the process. So we have faith in the process, which always talks about trust and belief in the unseen, having belief in things that you can't see, having faith in things that you can't see yet. Like this person here is praying. I mean, they're completely naked. They're literally the only thing that they have are 2 birds with them. So they don't even have a companion. They only have themselves and 2 birds. And they're still praying and still having belief that they'll be okay, that they'll be fine, that they can trust whatever higher power that they pray to, that they believe in, and they'll be kept even in complete nakedness, even in complete vulnerability. They can still trust. And like this is the first time I've seen this like little writing here, faith etched into the card. So funny, I use these cards so many times, and each reading that I do with them, I find new things in the cards. So you're being asked to have faith in some kind of process in the coming weeks, and this could be in regards to something related to maybe finances, maybe career, maybe your independence, because we have the 9 of Pentacles and we have the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. So having a lot of burdens and like concerns is what I hear. You're very concerned about your pentacles. You're very concerned about your ability to probably maintain your independence, probably do something entirely by yourself. It feels like something is very concerning to you. The Empress, which is you, is right beside that. And then we have the Page of Swords. Can you guys hear that? I think my neighbors upstairs are playing the guitar, and it's so nice. I hope you can hear. But yeah, the Empress is here, and it's clarified by the Page of Swords. So you're in a process of collecting information and learning. Maybe this is related to something you have to do for your job, or maybe this has to do with something that you're trying to create. Maybe this has something to do with your business. I'm inclined to say this is money related because the Nine of Pentacles is here, but it doesn't have to be, because the Nine of Pentacles just talks about doing something on your own, being fulfilled in the material world on your own, by yourself. That's why after this you go to the Ten of Pentacles, which is sharing the wealth with others, sharing your, how would I say this? All of the things that you have accumulated with someone else. Before you get to the Ten of Pentacles, you're at the Nine, because you have everything that you need on your own. You just don't have a person or a group of people to share it with. So maybe this is like worries about, it feels like you're trying to create something or start something new, and you're wondering like, can I do this by myself? Is it possible for me to like manage everything by myself? This could be as it relates to like, giving you guys various examples because I know this will resonate in different ways for a lot of you. We have the Justice card and we have the Seven of Swords, which means like having to create some form of strategy or keeping something to yourself until it's safe for you to reveal it. But whatever you're planning to do is very stressful because you don't know how it's going to turn out, and maybe there is a lot to learn, or maybe there is a lot to carry on your own. Maybe it is a heavy burden to carry and do all of these things by yourself. So we're gonna get some advice on this, but it does feel like something you're trying to create or something you're trying to orchestrate on your own is causing you a lot of stress and concern. And I feel like it's important for you right now to have faith that even though it may look like you have a lot to carry, even though it may look like the Ten of Wands right now, the Ten of Wands is not the Ten of Swords. This person is able to get it done. It's tiring work, it's hard work, but having trust in the process is vital, it feels like. Let's get some advice. Spirit, what's your advice for Libras with faith in the process? Advice for Libras with faith in the process. Isn't that nice? Big happy changes. So you're not pushing all these 10 wands for nothing. You're doing all this work because something is about to happen. Something is about to change. I feel like all this work that you're putting in to start something, to maintain something, to strategize and put something together, it's all for something. It's all gonna amount to something. So there's no need, and I know that is very easy for me to say, but there's no need for the Nine of Swords. Like, this is natural to like go through the stress of like, I'm working so hard and I don't know how this is gonna turn out, and I don't know if this is even feasible, or this is blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the cards are saying like, yes, Libras, it will be good. Whatever you're planning, whatever you're keeping to yourself, whatever you're trying to like strategize, whatever you're trying to like, secret steps you're trying to take because you don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, whatever you're trying to do on your own, whatever independence you're trying to maintain, like, yes, you'll be okay, you'll be fine. There are big happy changes on the way. And then moving over to the final section, we have Beyond the Mind, the Heartbeats. And this card came out in, was it the Taurus reading? think it was a Taurus reading. So it's interesting because you guys are two Venusian ruled signs in the zodiac. So check that reading if you have Taurus placements. But beyond the mind, the heart beats comes out with this card comes out when you have to balance what your brain is telling you, balancing the flow of logic versus the flow of where your heart is directing you. And personally, I always like to say that it is a fine balance in navigating the 3D world, and you need both. You need logic and you need to use your heart or your intuition, because it's an integration of both of those aspects that give you a holistic experience and a holistic framework to navigate this realm that we're in on Earth. I mean, it's not like we're in the higher realms where we could just use the or heart space or psychic awareness or intuitions. We're on Earth, so we're gonna need to balance both of these things that have been given to us. I can't remember what speaker I have listened to, and basically all of their research came down to like it makes no sense to compare like left brain people or right brain people, because the human experience is actually learning to use both sides of the brain in a very delicate balance. Like the work is to be able to balance both sides of the brain. So if you're leaning more towards left brain, and let's just say you're more like logical or practical, you are going to need to balance that out somewhat with your intuition. If you're more like intuition based and like always up in the clouds and in your head and in the 5D and not necessarily grounded in the 3D, then you're going to have to balance that out to have like a more wholesome experience on Earth, because you can't just be spiritual and not be practical in this realm and achieve anything. So beyond the mind, the heart beats, talking about logic and heart. What do you think versus what do you feel? We have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So it feels like it's either, this could be someone or it could be some kind of financial opportunity coming to you in the next few weeks. Now we have the Ace of Swords and the Lovers, which to me feels like communication, like you're receiving communication and you're having to make a choice based on that communication. Now that communication may come from like something practical, like it may be something in the material world, like, as I said, some kind of financial opportunity, or this could be a person. It could be a person entering your reality, a person who just all of a sudden falls into your reality and communicates something to you that puts you in a place of, okay, am I going to follow wherever this path is leading me, or am I not going to follow where this path is leading me? And I feel like this is you. The Queen of Cups, clarified by the Hierophant, it feels like taking some kind of higher level of commitment. So for those of you who this is resonating with in the form of something material like a job, it feels like receiving some kind of job offer or something like that, and having to, or receiving some kind of contract and just having to make a careful choice. Am I gonna invest in this? Am I gonna commit to this? Because that's what the Hierophant talks about, commitments. Am I going to, is this something that I see myself doing? And the Queen of Cups is here, which is making me feel like it may be something that you're not quite sure of. You may not be quite sure of it. So let's get some advice on this Lovers card or this contract that's coming in. It feels like whatever, if this is a person, it's deciding, what do you feel? Like your brain may be telling you something, but it's important to also listen to what you feel. And if this is a job offer, it may look good on paper, but how do you feel about it? Like they could be offering you $100 million, but they want you to sell your whole life to them. And when you look at that sustainably, you're like, yeah, I'm getting $100 million, but I'll have to sell my whole soul to keep it. So how does that feel? Like, is your intuition telling you that that's a good choice? Is it telling you that that's a bad choice? If this is a person, it's like, yeah, they're offering me this and they're saying all of this, but how do I really, like, what do I feel like is unsaid between me and this person because they could be saying all this stuff, but like, I feel differently. So let's get some advice. Spirit, what's the advice for Libras with me on the mind, the heartbeats? Advice. Oop. I don't feel like that came out strongly enough, but I'm going to take it. Improving health. All right. I'm going to ask for one more just because I didn't like how that came out. Spirit, give me another one for Beyond the Mind, the heartbeats for Libras. Wait. Okay. So you're being asked to wait when you receive this offer, when you receive whatever this choice that you have to make. Don't rush into anything. Don't rush into anything. And if you can wait for something to improve before accepting an offer, I feel like that's what your guides are saying. Like, if you could just wait for something to improve a little bit more before jumping in and accepting. Tell me about what's the advice for the lovers and the Ace of Swords? What's the advice for Libras, for the lovers and the Ace of Swords? You're ready. Okay. It feels like you're poised for something. Like you're poised to make this choice. Like, you know. And when I say you know, it feels like you have all the information you need. So remember this card, Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. Your head could be telling you one thing, your heart could be telling you another thing. But I feel like at this point, the Libras that I'm reading for, you're able to decipher where to go and how to navigate your intuition. And I feel like that's what this card is saying. Like, you're ready. You have all the clarity you need. You are clear. You know exactly what to do. And then this is like additional guidance with wait for something to improve before I feel like accepting something, saying yes to something, or even saying no to something. You will know in your individual situations, but there's like a waiting period here, waiting for something to improve before making some kind of commitment to it or stepping into some kind of higher level of commitment with it. So Libras, I'm going to leave you here. I'm so interested to see how this, or to hear how this resonates with you all. So please leave a comment if this resonates with you in any way. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye.